Well, here we are. This is David and Susan. We got Susan a new little gizmo here. We got a 3-burner gas hot plate here, so she can can outdoors. And we're out here under the eave. We aren't putting all this heat in the house, and we're giving the glass top stove a reprieve from that, having that canner sit on it. And this is just her, what, 3rd batch in it? What did we do?
Outside.
Did 2 batches on this yesterday?
I believe I did.
And it worked really well. Anyway, she's canning tomatoes. And right now we are in the blowing off steam phase, or venting. So right now she has the burner wide open while it's venting. And how many minutes we got there, Susan?
4 minutes?
4 minutes. 4 minutes to go.
And this canner is a Presto canner.
Oh, okay. Tell us about the canner, Susan.
I was given this canner by my grandmother when we got married.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
Oh, it wasn't on our marriage, but the summer at.
Yeah.
So it was summer. It was sometime in
So it's like 45 years ago.
Yeah, like 45 years ago.
And it's canned a lot of fruit and vegetables over the years.
It's had new gaskets and new plugs and a new gauge, but I'm now using a jiggler weighted gauge on the back, so I don't know.
Yeah, the jiggler is really nice. It lets you maintain the pressure a little bit easier. Yeah, it really does help you. When the jigglers came out about the time we were getting out of college, and everybody was.
They always had jigglers.
No, you had to sit there and watch the pressure. Anyway, people didn't trust the jiggler. But actually the jiggler is a very good thing. It's a weighted gauge. We just changed the pressure gauge just before this season, didn't we?
And the gasket.
And put a new gasket in.
Venting plug.
And then you've got a safety plug right there. That's a rubber plug. In case you overpressure, that thing supposedly will blow. That has been replaced because the old one gets hard.
Every time you do the gasket.
Yeah, when you replace the gasket, you do that. It has let me zoom in on that. See, it has a little stainless steel center in it. I'll back that off. It couldn't focus. It has a little stainless steel center. When it's cold, not pressured up, that thing sits down. So when you start to vent, it'll be venting too, and then as the pressure inside gets a little more, the center pops up and seals. So that's a safety device. If you overpressure the thing, that should blow out before the pressure cooker blows up. The pressure canner, it's not a pressure cooker. So anyway, we're venting, and what we'll do when her time is up on venting, she'll put the jiggler on there, and she'll observe the pressure going up, and it will get up to around 10, and it'll start to jiggle a little bit. I'm going to move this. Anyway, when it gets up to 10, that thing will start to jiggle, and then she'll start regulating her fire down. She'll let it settle in about 11 pounds, and try to hold it right there. And, well, we're down to under a minute now. We're almost ready to put the jiggler on.
The dog is objecting in the house.
Yeah, that's a Teddy in the house. He wants to be out here with his people.
But not while we're pressure canning.
We aren't going to have him out here underfoot while we're running the canner. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm going to get the other camera here and get a picture of the flame under there.
Can you hand me the weighted gauge?
There you go, there's your jiggler. Okay, here, I'm looking under it with the other camera. You see the fire under there. Oh, there's your timer. Her timer is up. Okay, there she sets the jiggler on. And of course it won't jiggle now because
You gotta turn this off. There you go.
Anyway, and that pressure gauge will start rising.
Up she goes.
Well, that's silly Teddy. He is really not happy about being indoors.
No, he is not.
I'm going to zoom in on the pressure gauge there. We watch that baby come up. Kind of fun to watch that go up. Kind of like running a steam engine, isn't it, Susan?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can tell the age of that canner by the color. That's harvest gold.
Harvest gold, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it came out, did it come out with that or avocado first?
I don't
Oh
know.
my
Probably about
gosh.
the same time, I would
That was
say.
it, actually in the 60s. It came out with avocado color for refrigerators and other kitchen
So
appliances.
this must have been later.
And harvest gold, I don't know which one came out first. I always thought the avocado was rather ugly in a kitchen. Harvest gold's not too bad. Now we're up to 4 pounds. And you can hear the boiling in the canner.
Boy, this is like paint drying.
No, that's moving right up.
One of the things about the stoves when I was looking at what I wanted to buy, and this is certainly not a really fancy one, but one of the things is you don't want one that has too high of BTUs because it's hard to regulate the canner because it doesn't require high BTU. It's got to go low enough to keep the canner steady and, you know, allow it to level out.
Yeah.
You get one with a lot of BTUs.
Yeah, we looked at several.
It.
We looked at several different ones and
read reviews.
And read reviews about them. And oh my gosh, there's some real pretty ones out there. You know, stainless steel and pretty paint and all that. And their burners are much hotter than they need to be for this. And we were looking at stoves. We were looking at stoves
for canning.
For camping stoves that were like $250, $350.
Well, that wasn't the problem as much as the BTU.
But the BTU was too much.
Yeah.
And we found this little iron hot plate with 3 burners on it, and it was right in the zone on the BTUs that we wanted, and it was only $52. I'm sure it's made.
I'm sure we could find something better, and I'm sure it's made in China. But
I'm sure it came over here on a big
that's
boat.
what I could find.
But it was anyway, and it works fine. It's made out of cast iron. We put it together, and it fired right up.
The table was a Camp Chef table, which cost twice as much as the cooker.
Yeah, here we'll back this off. Yeah, the table is Camp
Not quite
Chef.
Twice as much, but
And how much? So it's
$100.
about $100 table. Very nice table. It's a heavy metal pan. You can actually
put charcoal
in that pan and cook right on top of that thing with a charcoal fire. And the legs attach well. But it works great. It's a good workspace. So I'm going to put this back on the gauge here and get the gauge and jiggler in our view. You want to see the jiggler start to do its thing here. As it gets up just over 10 pounds, that thing will start jiggling. And where are we? About 8.5 pounds on that now. Anyway, you don't want to jiggle your pressure canner while it's working, and you don't walk off and leave it.
You don't want a lot of drafts, so if it's ever a windy day, I won't be doing this.
Yeah, we had thunderstorms today, so we waited till evening
Calm.
for it to calm down. And we're out here under the eave in case it did rain. We wouldn't have a real problem.
So, canning outdoors does have a few restrictions.
Yeah. Hey, you filled your fruit jars out here, didn't you?
I did this time. Last time I did not, but it's a whole lot easier to do it out here.
Okay, it's coming up on 10 right now. You can hear a difference in the sound on the boiling as the pressure comes up too. There, it's venting. The jiggler is starting to spit steam.
It shouldn't be venting, David.
It's not venting, it's the jiggler is spitting steam out from under. You're about 10 3/4 pounds right now. I'd start cutting the fire back. There, see the jiggler start to move? She's gonna dial the fire back. She kind of worked on it yesterday and figured out where the fire needs to be.
Sort of.
But after you move it down, you've got to sit here and watch and see what your pressure gauge does. You want it to stay right up there where it jiggles that thing on top. Okay. You know, move back up there. She's handling the fire. And you can see the jiggler going to town there. And it's just over 11 pounds on the pressure gauge.
There's a lot of play in this gauge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, check your time. How long do we want to have it jiggling now? 10 minutes. So she's going to set her timer on her phone.
Should have said it already. That was nice.
Anyway, we're going to go 10 minutes. I could hear the bubbles change inside the thing when she turned that back that time.
I did too. I'm still learning.
It's a little tricky, but you know, on the electric stove, the same thing. You have to learn where you're going to set it because there's a real slow transition when you change your settings on the electric stove. So on this thing, it's a little quicker.
I always think it makes a difference on the number of pints or quarts you have in it.
Oh yeah, because you have thermal mass in there.
Right.
It changes with what kind of jars you have
So
in it.
you can't say just set it on a number.
Yeah.
These hold 7 quarts, and depending on white mouth or regular, you can actually get 16 of the pints.
Yeah.
Because you can double deck it. And they're smaller around.
Well, you were using a different burner yesterday too. This may adjust a little different.
I don't like to have pressure fluctuations. It tends to let food or liquid siphon out of the jar, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, Teddy's still in there exercising his lungs.
Maybe evening out. That's a little better.
Yeah, your pressure gauge is about 11.5. And you've got it evening out. I can hear it's a little different now.
I can too.
Okay, the jiggler's changed.
Right.
Your jiggler changed
I like
the way.
it when it's not wildly moving.
Yeah, it's settled.
I don't know. Honestly,
It just changed its tone a little bit. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. When we get down to a few minutes, we'll fire it up again because we're just going to sit here and watch this thing jiggle for a while. So I'm going to turn this off and we'll fire it back up as she finishes. Okay, I'm recording. There, her timer went off. So what we do now, you want to turn clockwise.
It's off.
Turn off the heat.
Close. Yeah, that was really close.
Turn off the heat. Oh, and watch the jiggler stop there. See, the jiggler stopped that quick. You can hear it boiling inside yet. And now we just leave it alone for a while. That pressure will come down. It'll cool a bit, and then she'll take the lid off. And
I'll let it set a while.
yeah, lets it sit a while, and get the lid off, and then you can lift your jars out. But you let it cool with the lid off then for a while.
For just a little while. It's just an extra precaution.
Yeah, real careful of those jars. They're hot.
Well, especially when you're outside too. You know, you gotta watch your temperature
get a draft on
changes.
them.
Then I'll set them on the table and cover them.
Down to 7.
Humid.
Yeah, it's very humid. Aren't you glad you're not putting all this heat in the house?
Yes, it's a real good thing.
Okay, it's just about down to 7. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off again.
It's pretty slow.
We'll come back when we're ready to open this up. Now you're going to open it and then let it sit there and cool more with the lid off. Okay.
You may want to wait till I'm really ready to take them out.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll come back when we're ready to lift them out and see that, and I'll go in and talk to Teddy and calm him down. Poor little guy. You'd think he was neglected. Okay, I'm going to cut her off now.
Taking off.
There we go. Susan pulled the jiggler off, and she's going to pop the lid loose. There we go. The lid's popped loose. She'll take the lid off.
Always lift it away from you. We let it cool down quite a while, so we're in really.
Yeah, we let it cool quite a while. I'm going to move the camera up here closer. There we go. Yeah, we got 7 quarts of tomato juice.
So I'm not quite as worried about taking them out because
it's been
so
sitting.
long.
I didn't check.
Kind of forgot about it.
I didn't check the time. It was about 7 when we went in. A little before 7.
Yeah.
And now what is it, 8 o'clock? So it's been sitting here an hour. So they're ready to lift out.
Okay, let's just see how this goes. Beautiful. The water is nice and clear, so it didn't siphon. That's always good.
That's nice.
I always put vinegar in the water so it'll keep the jars looking nice. No water film.
Mm-hmm.
Fun jars. That's an old one.
Yeah, we've got some really old fruit jars, probably some that her great grandmother used. Okay, I'm going to scoot over here and look at this nice lineup.
I'm going to cover them up.
Let me get a look at the lineup here. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, that's 7 jars out of that canner, and she's going to cover them over. Throw a towel over them.
I need to do that, but that's fine.
A little bit of insulation for them while they cool down.
They can sit there a while we.
And we'll pick those up and take them in the morning. So we're all done out here for the night.
We are. Well, I'm going to pick up the canner.
Yeah, we'll take the canner in.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I always like to wash it out in between cannings.
Oh, that's good to know. You got to talk loud to the camera, Susan.
Well, I wash it out in between the cannings and dump the water because I don't know the measurement, and I need to have at least 2 quarts in there.
Yeah.
So
you start over fresh every time.
I do.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to cut this off.
All right.